Welcome to our latest explainer. Okay, let's dive right into this. Today, we're tackling what is, without a doubt, the most fiercely debated topic in all of modern sports: Michael Jordan versus LeBron James. You know, people are always telling me they want to see NBA symbols. Well, it literally doesn't get more symbolic than these two right here. If you're a hoops fan, you've heard the endless arguments. But today, we're doing something a little bit different. No nostalgia, no eye tests, just verified data, career trajectories, and concrete milestones.
It's the ultimate question, right? Who is the actual GOAT? Now, fans get incredibly passionate about their heroes, and honestly, who can blame them? But to truly understand the sheer magnitude of both players, we're going to deliberately strip away all that emotion today. We are acting as completely neutral analysts here, letting the raw numbers and the historical facts do all the talking. So, let's start right at the origins. Back in 1984, Michael Jordan enters the league. And interestingly enough, he wasn't actually the first pick. He slipped to third, landing with the Chicago Bulls, a franchise he would very quickly completely define. Fast forward almost 2 decades to 2003, LeBron James enters the league carrying basically the weight of the world on his shoulders. He was drafted first overall right out of high school by his home state Cleveland Cavaliers. 2 totally different eras and 2 massive pressure cooker entry points into the league.
Section 1. Origins and Career Paths. Let's see how they actually navigated their time in the league.
Jordan's trajectory is just fascinatingly unique. Drafted in '84, his run wasn't just one single uninterrupted block. Actually, in 1993, following the tragic death of his father, he shocked the entire globe by retiring to play minor league baseball. He famously returned in '95, retired again in '99, and then, just when he thought he was done, made one final comeback with the Washington Wizards from 2001 to 2003. It's a career of massive peaks, sudden stops, and historic returns.
Now, contrast that with LeBron's journey. It's a sprawling, multi-franchise odyssey that spans an absolutely incredible 20-plus continuous seasons. Instead of taking breaks, LeBron evolved by moving. He started with the Cavs in 2003, famously took his talents down to Miami in 2010, returned to Cleveland in 2014, and then joined the LA Lakers in 2018. It's literally an uninterrupted timeline of shifting the entire league's balance of power.
Section 2. The championship resumes. Time to shift focus to what fans usually care about most: winning at the absolute highest level.
So the crucial point is, when we look at the ultimate hardware, hoisting that golden Larry O'Brien trophy, here is the direct side-by-side count. Michael Jordan holds 6 NBA titles, 6 Finals MVPs, and 5 regular season MVPs. On the flip side, LeBron James holds 4 NBA titles, 4 Finals MVPs, and 4 regular season MVPs. The numbers speak for themselves here. Jordan holds the definitive edge in the total volume of these absolute top-tier awards.
But you know, we really have to ask, how are those championships actually won? Jordan achieved what we can basically call concentrated dominance. He won all 6 of those titles in the 1990s wearing just one jersey, the Chicago Bulls. Under the brilliant guidance of Coach Phil Jackson and playing alongside absolute legends like Scottie Pippen and Dennis Rodman, this foundation produced 2 legendary, completely separate three-peats. Just phenomenal stuff.
LeBron's championship foundation, on the other hand, is built on sprawling, adaptable success. He won his 4 titles across 3 completely different franchises: the Heat, the Cavs, and the Lakers. And honestly, perhaps even more mind-boggling, LeBron made 10 finals appearances in a single decade between 2011 and 2020. 10. He completely proved he could be the central championship engine for entirely different organizations, adapting to whatever system he was in.
And look, we absolutely have to single out the historic 2016 title. LeBron led the Cavaliers to a championship after falling behind 3-1 against a 73-win Golden State Warriors team. A 73-win team. It remains a massive statistical anomaly and without a doubt a uniquely factual standout milestone in his entire career. No one had ever come back from 3-1 in the finals before.
Section 3. Head-to-head statistical dominance. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how it highlights their pure scoring and statistical might.
When we dive into the individual awards, we see 2 totally different types of mastery. It's like a giant puzzle. Jordan had this incredibly intense 2-way peak, racking up 10 scoring titles, 9 all-defensive first-team selections, and a Defensive Player of the Year award back in 1988. LeBron, however, shows this unmatched accumulation over time. He holds the all-time record for all-NBA first-team selections and has pulled in over 20 All-Star nods. It's just wild consistency.
30.1. Just let that number sink in for a second. That is Michael Jordan's career regular season points per game average. It stands as the absolute highest in NBA history, and when the playoff pressure hit, that number actually climbed to a massive 33.4. So, when it comes to pure, unadulterated scoring volume on a per-game basis, the facts clearly show that Jordan has absolutely no equal.
But then we hit this staggering figure, 40,000. LeBron James is basically a statistical universe all to himself. He is the all-time leader in NBA playoff points and the only player in the history of the game to reach the seemingly impossible combined threshold of 40,000 points, 10,000 assists, and 10,000 rebounds. I mean, to put that into perspective, those are video game numbers stretched over 2 decades of real life.
Section 4. Records and historic longevity. Let's move to and see how this builds the final argument of peak versus longevity. It ultimately boils down to a fascinating contrast in how we define a basketball career. On one hand, Jordan represents unparalleled scoring concentration and a pristine, almost untouchable peak, entering the Hall of Fame in 2009 with a flawless 6-0 finals record. On the other hand, LeBron represents unprecedented historic longevity. He's adapted his seemingly immortal physical prime over 20-plus seasons to amass overall statistical thresholds that were once thought, well, completely mathematically impossible. And that brings us to our final question, which I am leaving entirely up to you. So, what defines the greatest? Is it the concentrated, flawless peak dominance of Michael Jordan? Or is it the historic, multi-franchise longevity and statistical accumulation of LeBron James? We've laid out the facts, the timelines, and the numbers. The decision is absolutely yours. Thanks for joining me on this explainer today, and keep exploring the facts.